I'm about to go get me some tacos. Hey YouTube, it's me Kristianna. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to When in Doubt Pink. Hi, hello. I am getting ready to go get some tacos. All right, my cousin hit me up a little bit ago and was like, yeah, you want some tacos? I said, yes. When do I not want tacos? The answer is always yes. And so I was like, well, I feel like getting cute. I don't really want to go outside looking nutty today. So we're gonna do a little face, all right? And we're gonna chat a little bit, okay? So one thing I've been like, okay, so I should start over. I didn't even say anything yet. I should start over. Okay, so some of you know that I have been really in my reading bag in this season, right? And I started listening to some of Sarah J Maas's like different books, her different series. I was reading and I inadvertently started a book club at the job, which is so fun, right? So that I don't even take the books home now. They're just like sitting on my desk at work. And people circle in and out depending on what book they're on, and they coordinate amongst each other to get the book to the next book. It's really a good time. And it's kind of cool, you know, like I'm like a little influencer of books right now. I also just recently was reading Bell Hooks. I was reading Communion, a female search for love, or a woman search for love. I think it's female though. And I was talking to my cousin about this book, and then she was like, oh girl, I want to read some Bell Hooks too. So she's been on her Bell Hooks grind, and I just reignited another little book club over here, right? And there are just like so many themes in Bell Hooks's writings that are very thought-provoking for me. Not to mention, and I'll say it again, is that I revitalized my blog, whenindoubtpink.com. Yeah, and so like over there, I really want to start to just dig deeper and talk a little bit more about my journey as a Black woman, navigating beauty and the beauty space, but also at some point I'll probably start to put like beauty recommendations or things that I'm enjoying over there, but also that I just really had a lot of things on my mind and on my heart recently, and that is a space for me to just kind of write it out, and I welcome you and invite you to go and check it out. It looks much better on mobile than it does on a computer, just because I am not like a website developer, you know. However, you know, it's the writing and the energy that like really matters, right? Anywho, I've been also thinking about what it means in terms of beauty to resist, or what does resistance look like in the beauty space, or or even just like societally, not even just in the beauty space. What does beauty mean as an act of resistance? Let's chat. Okay, this is not a research chat, okay? This is just like stuff off the top of my head, and an open forum, an open conversation. Let's do it. I think I want to wear a red lipstick because I thought about how society often tries to tell Black women, dark-skinned Black women, that we don't need to be wearing no red lipstick. People don't like it on us, and I immediately thought of red lipstick when I thought of this question. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do some like neutral eyes. We're gonna use my Gone matte palette from ColourPop that finally came. It's this beautiful matte palette. This is what is going to soothe my soul the fact that I cannot afford the Makeup by Mario neutrals palette. So we're gonna go with this, and it's very beautiful. Don't get it messed up. I am very excited to have it. So we're gonna use this, do some neutral eye makeup, and then we're gonna do a little red lip. All right. So one thing that came top of mind when I was thinking about just like the general like societal beauty standard, right, is like, do we still think that the beauty standard is what we've always said it was? Like, does that make sense? Like, for years and years we would always say like the beauty standard, white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, and that's that on that, right? I'm really interested if like societally if we still think that, right? Like the internet is a big place, and you can pretty much see any type of woman that you want to see online, right? And also considering like the fact that so many white men are getting down with the swirl these days. Not everybody, right? Not everybody, but it seems like these days a lot of like white men are super interested in dating interracially, which is cool. You know, that's their business. But that also means that like maybe the standard of beauty even for them has shifted, right? And I'm like talking about white men mostly because it feels like in the patriarchy, my little bell hooks is coming out right now. It feels like in the patriarchy, everything centers whiteness, but also like white men, no? And so it almost feels like you have to reference them first. And I could be totally wrong about that. And I want to talk about it. Like, that's why we're having this discussion, right? Is that it feels like, ooh, this is very powdery. Not like in a bad way, but just in a way that I was too, like heavy-handed, and now there's like fallout. So I'm trying to actually use some of the fallout. I'm starting like really kind of light with the brown first, you know, and then I'm gonna do some sort of lighter color here is kind of what's gonna happen. And then I think I'm gonna do like black on the like in the crease, if that makes sense. Just trying to kind of get my base right. But yeah, like it feels like the beauty standard, even still, like me saying like maybe it's that we need to check what white men are doing, to check what the standard of beauty has become. Even the fact that I'm still like even just naturally centering whiteness is very it's very interesting, it's very telling. And you know, I give myself grace because I am a part of the society, and this is what I've seen and what I've witnessed, and these are natural conclusions I think a person could come to. But even with that said, right, I think that to exist as a black woman in this society is an act of resistance, period. But then to be classified as someone who is beautiful and black, oh, you pushing it. Oh, you pushing it, girl. Which is beautiful. It's beautiful, amazing, and definitely an act of resistance. I think in the same vein, it feels right. I'm just using like this like fat like crayon pencil to kind of just draw me a line that I'm gonna buff out, kind of like a cat eye situation. See that? And then I'm gonna like blend it. There's a black inside this palette, just that, you know, I just wanted to do it like this. So I feel like as someone who classifies my personal style as being very quirky and other, I feel like every day I put myself together is an act of resistance of what is expected of people in society. I think that in terms of beauty specifically, in the work that I do, and I think I've talked about this a little bit, and I think this is the perfect time to talk about it again, right, is that there is a certain type of woman that often falls into activism work, falls into the activism space, especially I'm mostly talking about white women, right? Is like there's a certain kind of white woman that like falls into the activism space a lot of times, right? A lot of times that's who people are thinking of when they're even talking about feminism, just generally, which I don't consider myself to be like a feminist, but a womanist, because I am a black woman, together at the same time and first before I'm anything else. I am not really like that archetype of woman that would have fallen into this sort of work. as a lifestyle. If you missed it, I am a worker activist, and as a life choice and as a career choice, I guess. Okay, this is kind of dark and crazy and it looks like that on camera, but just like trust the process, all right? Trust the process, because we're gonna blend the hell out of this in a second, but I gotta get the base of it like on here. Okay, so because I've never really met that archetype of woman, like I've never been the certain kind of woman that gets involved in activism work. And actually, you know what, I singled out white women because I mostly work with white women or whatever, but I think also even in other spaces where I've met Black women who are doing similar work or are in the work, doing the work, movement work, they also sometimes have a certain archetype. Sometimes they're like very earthy lady, candles and sage, which I love me some good sage, you know, but there's a little bit of like a hippy dippy aura about them too. That I went through a phase of being sort of like that when I was first becoming politicized as a young woman in my 20s. I think I thought that that was how I was supposed to be, and so I was showing up in that manner, and then I kind of came back to myself over the years. But I remember a few years ago a woman saying to me basically that she doesn't wear makeup, she doesn't wear earrings, she doesn't like dress up. She didn't say the thing about dressing up, but like she didn't dress up. She wasn't a dress up type of person, you know what I mean? And I've always been that, because fashion is my first love. Like fashion is my first love. I feel like makeup came as I became older, you know? But I always thought that when I was younger, I really wanted to be a fashion model. I really wanted to be a fashion designer. All through high school, I thought that I would grow up and go to Parsons or go to FIT in New York. I just knew I would be a fashion New York bitch, you know? Life had other plans for me. But I think it's always been evident to people that I love fashion. But this one person was basically saying that like I come across as like less serious about this work because I was showing up just a little bit too put together. Girl. And even when I think about it, I ate it at the time and I really took that shit to heart. But now that I'm even older, a lot older than I was when that happened to me, I was in my 20s. I was in my mid-20s when that was said to me. I would have told my younger self to like not let that shit fly, because that was out of pocket, one. But also two, again, being a Black woman in this world, and I was literally just explaining this again to someone else, is that Black women, right, Black people, we hold ourselves to a very high standard of what it means to physically exist in a space. And a lot of that is like slavery times, like on to today, that we like, you know, feel a deep need to show up looking a particular way to be deemed appropriately dressed or acceptable or whatever. We judge ourselves very harshly, and we judge each other very harshly. Like Black people always know when other Black people hair ain't done. Black people always know when somebody need a damn haircut. Like we don't need help. You know, making each other feel bad about how we physically show up, because we naturally police each other. So now I'm like going in with the lighter color I was talking about earlier. I think I'm gonna put it down in a way that will kind of resemble a cut crease. So I think even moving forward, right? The fact that during the pandemic, I thought we were all gonna stop being alive. And I said to myself that if I survived that moment, that I would come out of it and live the way that I wanna live and do what I wanna do. And I felt like in some of the things that I had listed out to myself, I thought, you know, for someone whose favorite color is pink, you don't wear enough of it. And I made a personal commitment to myself that if I survived the apocalypse, that I would wear more pink. And I do. And hello. And I do. I don't, you know, I have other clothes or whatever, but like I honor the commitment I made to myself pretty much every day. But I bring that up to say that me wearing pink every day makes some people ass itch. Because also that same archetype of activist, and this is like not me necessarily talking about co-workers, I want to be clear, but like I am in movement spaces, so I see other people who I don't work with all the time, right? And the fact that I really show up like kind of like labor movement Barbie it irritates people, especially because there's a level of feminism that rejects things that are supposed to be traditionally for women, and I reject that too. But also I think that the whole point of feminism is about like having the right to choose, pick and choose what is right for you as like an individual person, and having the agency to do that. That's kind of like how I've always looked at it. And I think that even those trad wife girlies, although it could never be me, it should be their choice and decision to want to go about their life in that manner. Does that make sense? I think I'm gonna put a little bit of this on the lower, yeah, okay, we're gonna clean it up, but I like it. I like this. And then I'm just gonna go back a little bit with the darker color that I had. Oh no, this is so dusty, you guys can't see it, but literally every time I put the pigment on my face, I can see the leftover kind of just like flying past me. This palette is probably all over this room at this point. Okay, my cousin is checking the spot we're gonna go get tacos. I think we're gonna go to this one spot in West Philly, Loco Pez, something like that. And she says she wants to take pictures, which is great because I'll be picture ready. Period. Okay. I know you hate me cause I'm that bitch. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit of witch hazel and a napkin and clean up the excess off my face, since it did get kind of crazy. Normally I just would cover it up with my foundation, but like I don't know, you really can't see, but it got a little bit out of control. So I just want to clean this up real quick. Ooh, hell, there was a lot more on my face than I thought actually just now. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put reapply the setting spray that I had on my base, dabby dabs, and then dry it because that was kind of crazy. Okay, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I am gonna do my eyeliner. One thing I want to say just very quickly before I move on to the next part of what I'm talking about, this discussion, right? Though I do want to just leave on the table and keep it moving, that it is always interesting to me the way that some people's feminism does make it okay for them to criticize and ridicule other women on the things that they've chosen for themselves and their autonomy. Despite the fact that this whole thing really should be about choice and having choices. Moving forward. No more questions. All right, I'm just gonna blend out the bottom now. I'm trying to be careful because my eyes water for no reason. I can think about my eyes watering and they'll just start watering. Okay, I'm into it. I think even on this channel though, we have talked about different women and the decisions that they've made for themselves and for their bodies, and when they are toxic, it is okay. I do feel like when things are very toxic, then that is when the space kind of opens up for more discussion. I also I talk about celebrities and things like that on this page too, because those are like public facing figures, and I don't think that they're like exempt from conversation as well. And I know I've talked a lot about the Kardashians over the years, and the things that they do and how they contribute to society standards of beauty and things like that. And I remember a long time ago someone said that like they could not compete for the standard of beauty in their own community, and that was like a part of why they like kind of started dabbling in Black aesthetics. We don't know people's real motivations for doing anything. However, when that was said, I felt like a light bulb in my head went on. Bing. you know? Yeah, okay, I can accept that. This eyeliner I had is very dry, and I know I have like a liquid one somewhere, so I'm just trying to locate the liquidy one. Oh, you know what, I'm just gonna use the eyeshadow. I'm just gonna use eyeshadow and call it a day. Okay, yeah, that will work. I do think though that after a while, women like that, women like the Kardashians, they do begin to feel like pressure to change and alter things about themselves, and I think that's why they are like constantly on the operating table. And I think that it's normal, right, to like maybe have some things about yourself that you want to be like, you want to see be different or change or whatever it is, even if it's not like that deep, right? Like I remember some years ago I was feeling really self-conscious about the fact that I am like a very quirky girl, and that I don't have the like whole like beige, black, brown aesthetic that the girlies mostly have here on YouTube. And I've always felt like that's why I haven't been able to really get where I'm trying to go, because I don't have that like aesthetic, and it's like I could try to get that aesthetic if I wanted, but would it make me happy? Would it make me happy? I don't think so, right? I love color. I love pink. I don't really like wearing black, but I have lots of black. I wear black. I wear black. I don't love black. I'm not in love with black. Brown and creams are nice. They're not exciting to me, and I find fashion to be exciting. Let me fix my damn eyebrows again because they done got a little messed up. Okay. All right. I actually am very happy with where we landed on the eyes. Very simple, very cutesy, very demure. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my base right now so then I can move forward. Even this conversation about aesthetics, right? My cousin was kind of just reiterating to me again the other day that she kind of feels like, and this is no shade to my cousin, right? I love her, she loves me, and you know, we're not like trying to hurt each other or whatever, right? But she was like saying to me like again that she feels like the reason guys don't really like come up to me or approach me or whatever is because I don't really have the aesthetic that black men are looking for, right? I'm not like a hot girl type. I again, going back to like even my style, right? I call my personal style elevated quirk. Elevated because I'm grown now, right? But still very quirky in a lot of ways. I'm willing to experiment. Like I said, I wear color. I wear a lot of pink. You know how I get down. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, color, pink. And that is like not what a lot of men are looking for, and therefore I repel them. And that could be hard. If it, you know, that could be like a harsh thing to say. I'm just kind of cleaning up the eye makeup part again, like just much more intentionally, because I want the eyes to kind of go whoop that way. So the way that I'm laying down my foundation right now is to kind of clean up around the eye, clean up some of the fallout I wasn't able to get with the witch hazel, cover it up, and then make sure that my eye makeup is going whoop, like that. All right, I'm done. Okay, so there, and like even with that being said, right, I think there's pressure on me all the time to consider changing or altering some of the ways in which I show up in this world for even reasons of trying to attract love. But I feel like the person who loves me for real will have to love me like this, like me. You know what I mean? Like I gotta become somebody else to receive love. That's weird. That's weird to me anyway. I know girls do it. I know plenty of girls that I'm not even in community with anymore. We had to go our separate ways because they also like changed themselves to be able to receive love in ways that I did not find acceptable. So I feel like men win enough, you know? They win enough when it comes to having say over like how we appear and how we show up and all the things, society, like the fact that a women's societal standards of beauty are created by men, are deemed as acceptable or not acceptable by men. That's weird. Nobody else think that shit weird? It's weird. I'm gonna put on some normal people colored concealer on the bottoms of my eyes just because I'm really going outside. You know, there's some stuff you do for the internet. There's like some flavors and flavors. There's certain things you do because you're just like in your house, right, and you're doing a look and you want it to look a certain way. And then there's sometimes it's like, all right, let's dial this back a little bit because I'm gonna go outside where there's people. So although in my early 20s, when I was heavy in my makeup bag, it was also like 2016, 2015, I was really going outside with my makeup like popping. Just using a little brush to get me right where I'm trying to be at, and then I'm gonna go back over it with my powder. I'm gonna do my yellow Juvia's Place powder. So I'm just gonna like dab it on the sponge like this, and then I go in the back of my hand and just kind of even it out a little bit before I put it on my face, so then the application is much more even. Again, I didn't research a damn thing for this conversation. I'm just talking off the top of my head. But I do feel like we have to touch on the historical context in which Black women and women of color have also like shown up and existed as themselves, their full selves, in styles and like cultural markings and hairdos or whatever, like that were in resistance to the societal beauty standards at that time or in those times and today, right? Like back when all the Black women and Black men too were wearing like afros, right? I mean, shoot, even today, right, wearing a set of box braids, I feel like you still really doing something. Like you really doing something, because the way that it just like makes people's minds like explode, especially certain people, like they can't believe it when they see a set of cornrows because it could never be them, you know. It's just very interesting, and I do think it's cool. Like I was talking to, okay, so when I went to go get my hair done, the woman who does hair in the chair next to Kelly, don't get me to lying about her name, starts with an M. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so bad. Marissa? I want to say her name is Marissa. Let me look. Marissa. Okay. So Marissa was telling me a little bit about how I think she's like a part of a collective that does work around the Crown Act, which if you haven't heard about the Crown Act, right, I don't know everything about it, right, because that's not my area of activism. However, I do understand that it is just about like getting real legislation in that can protect Black women in the workplace, to allow us, literally we need legislation to allow us to be able to exist and wear our hair, wear the hair that grows out of our scalps at work. Nutty. It's so nutty. Like even saying that out loud is like, that's nutty, but it's a real thing. And I think, you know, whatever we gotta do to be able to like actually exist in peace, we gotta do it. You know what I mean? Including like having to go as far as getting legislation so that we can wear our own damn hair at work. I feel lucky all the time that I do this type of work, and that people literally cannot like send me home because I'm showing up looking a certain way. So, you know, privilege. We've all got a little, even when we don't think about it. All right, now I'm gonna just take a brush that I'm cleaning off in this moment to just kind of blend the lines between my foundation and eyeshadow, because although I did want it to have this particular shape, I also don't want it to look like I like wiped, like like I need to blend it a little bit, you know what I mean? So we're doing that. Yeah, that looks a little better. Yeah, them tacos finna be bussin'. Okay. I'm not gonna do lashes, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of like colossal mascara. We'll do a little of that, little of that. I know you hate me. I know you hate me. I know you hate me. What's funny going back to box braids is like, you know, there's not too many hairstyles generally that I haven't had. That's just a side effect of having gone to beauty school, right? But of all the hairstyles that I've had and that I continue to get, it really is box braids that is my favorite. Like, box braids are my favorite hairstyle. And the longer the better. Of course, I never get any like down to my ankle. I'm 5'9". That's a lot of money. However, I love long box braids. Like, I haven't stopped talking about my last set because they were just fucking beautiful. But although wearing box braids is more of a cultural thing, I also just like feel like a pretty princess when I have my hair braided long. Like, I feel like a princess. I mean, another reason why I prefer that people call me Kristianna instead of Chrissy or Christy or whatever. My family calls me Chris. My family calls me Chris. But I don't answer to any other real names. Some people call me KB. I accept that. But other than that, like, most people call me Kristianna, and I feel like I have a princess name. For years and years, I didn't like my name. I didn't like that I couldn't go into a store and like get a keychain with my name. Now I don't give a fuck. But also that I feel like I am a princess. Princess Kristianna, that's me. I love it here. Cause who gonna check me? Nobody. All right, so let's move on to the lipstick. The whole reason why we're here. I've had time to think about this while I was sitting here yammering. And so we're gonna use these two lippies. One is from MAC, the other is from Beauty Bakerie, which I heard that they are opening back up, or they sold the business. I don't know what's going on with that. But we're gonna use the MAC High Drama Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color. We're gonna use that on the outside of my lip, and then we're gonna use the Beauty Bakerie red on the inside. Now this color actually does look good alone. I'm in a vibe right now where I just want a darker color on the outside first, if that makes sense. But this color alone is beautiful. It's more of a blue red, and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous! I need to spray my face though. I don't even know how I just did that and didn't think about spraying my face. So we're gonna do that real quick too. We'll use this elf I have. Wait, let me see how it's spraying out. Okay. Okay. You know, so everything can kind of just like melt together. You heard? Okay, so let's do the MAC. It's more of a like deep purple, and I'm just gonna go right around the edges, and I'm gonna take my time and start talking. It's looking a little shaky. I'm gonna go back and just do one more layer. Looking a little shaky. Okay, so it looks a little nutty because my lips are uneven, and I be trying to even them out with the lip liner. But we're gonna do a little blot right now. Okay. Get that like excess off. Then we're gonna go back in with the red in the middle. I'm gonna wipe off the mixture of the colors from the applicator, and then I'm gonna dip it back in and try to get some more color, because this is more of like a lip lacquer almost. I need to get some disposable lip applicators. I think this is really beautiful, but I feel like I kind of want it to be glossy. So I'm gonna put a little bit of gloss on it. I'm just gonna put a little bit there. Okay. And I'm just gonna blend it with my finger. I love it. I knew if I took my hair down, the look would really come together. I was right. Yeah, so this is the look. It is giving kind of vampy, so I don't know what I'm getting ready to wear, but I knew I wanted to wear some red lipstick because F the patriarchy and misogyny. which tries to tell black women, dark-skinned black women, that we should stay away from red lipstick. Period. Anyway, I talked about a lot of stuff. If you enjoyed the chat, let me know. If you have thoughts about something I said, let me know. And let's like have a discussion. Open forum. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.